Welcome to those who just joined. We are kind of on a little bit of a time schedule tonight. We do have a 6:30 session that I want to make sure we get to in time. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dan Lentz. I'm one of the principals of the high school. Tonight is for you folks for the next 20 to 25 minutes is about just orienting you with Fox Chapel Area High School. We'll talk very airplane view about some of our programs and the things that we have. Starting at 6:30, I hope you'll join us. We will talk specifically about scheduling for the freshman year. And so at 6:30, it's all about how to select your courses, all of the different courses that are available to freshmen, and that will start at 6:30. And then shortly after that at 7:15, every 15 minutes, we'll be offering 10-minute sessions where our teachers from each of our different departments will be available, and you can ask them questions about the courses that are available in their departments, what are the prerequisites to get into those courses, maybe even thinking about a four-year plan for those courses. So we hope you'll join us for the whole evening. I know it's a long night, but we hope you'll join us for the whole evening. Allow me to just real quick switch and share my screen. Please, at any point in time, I won't be able to see you, so please, at any point in time, feel free to just kind of holler at me, and I'll do my best to answer all of the questions that you have. Let me get to my presentation. There are going to be, if you're on the link, on either the link that's on our website or the letter that I sent out, there's two PowerPoints. This one in red, it's just a lot of just silly little information that the students may want to know. How long is our periods? How much time do you have between classes? How long is lunch? Just kind of that little light stuff. So please feel free to go through that and read through it. It's a very short, quick read, but it just kind of gives an airplane view of some of the stuff that is true about our high school. We do hope that things will let up and that we will be able to have tours of the high school and perhaps a very similar program for you in the very near future. If I go too fast, please just holler at me. I am trying to get through this in approximately 15 to 20 minutes. This is on our website, and it's also on the links that I've sent you that got you here. So you'll be able to go back. We're also recording this session currently, so you'll be able to go back and watch it if I happen to go a little too fast for you. So my apologies. And if you hear a ding, I have my cell phone set for an alarm so I don't go over. There are three principals at the high school. You'll see me there. Dr. Hauer is our lead principal. Dr. McGee, he works predominantly with students, last names M through Z, and I work predominantly with last names A through L. You're going to probably want to be reaching out to your child's guidance counselor in the very near future. They are by last name. So A through C, Mr. McClister, D through G, Mr. Baxter, Mrs. Papalia, Mrs. Mackin, Mr. O'Connor, and Mr. Como. We're very proud of our counselors. They do a great job. But most importantly, you're going to want to reach out to them to help get you registered for the freshman year and to also start that selection process for your classes for 9th grade. As you're thinking about your academic plan, there will be 27 credits that you'll need to graduate. And obviously next year is an important start in that direction. So of those 27 credits, you see that there are 4 credits for English and 4 credits for social studies, 3 credits each for science and math, 1 credit for health, and 1.5 credits for PE. A course that is an excellent course that you take in the junior year called Career and College Essentials. You get into electives. Proficiency on those Keystone exams is a part of it, a graduation project, and a service learning project of 12 hours by the end of the junior year. Your guidance counselors know all of this inside and out, but just kind of a warm up for you as you're thinking about your courses, especially for your freshman year, which is the majority of the reason that we're here tonight. Your guidance counselors are going to go over a 4-year planning worksheet that will look somewhat similar to this. There are those courses that are to be taken in each of those years. You'll see in the freshman year, English 9, one of the mathematics courses, one of the science courses, whichever you qualify for those. a U.S. history, PE, and health, and then you can get into electives. And again, tonight at 7:15, every 15 minutes, we're going to have little sessions that'll be hosted by our various departments. So if you'd like to know more about that math, you can get on, and the math teachers are going to do a presentation. Same for science and all of our other disciplines as well. Our bell schedule looks like this. Right now, we are not doing the before school, the period 0 and the period 5 because of some COVID issues. But we do have a very flexible bell schedule that can start as early as 6:30 and can include a class after school. Most all of the freshmen will be in this time frame, which is from right here. We'll have a warning bell at 7:25. The school day starts at 7:30. We have QRT. It's very similar to a homeroom. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. And a 4-period schedule. If you don't know already, we are on a block schedule. You do have 4 periods in the fall. I have to let this person in, so forgive me for just a second. I have to break out of here. And come back. So we do have a 4-period schedule, and you take 4 classes in the fall and then 4 classes in the spring. That changeover is usually around between the 2nd and 3rd week in January. So we do have a block schedule, and that serves us very, very well. It allows students to double up. So for example, they can take 2 maths in 1 year. They can take 1 in the fall semester and actually take that next level in the spring semester if they're interested, where before that might have been actually impossible. I mentioned the QRT. It is what we call quality resource time. It is very similar to a homeroom, but we do a lot more than that. We also take attendance in that time, but that's a time that we kind of take care of all the other business so that we can focus on our 4 periods, whether that's to complete tests, do makeup work. We'll have our class meetings, our student government meetings, our club meetings and organizational meetings and so forth. Those are all taken care of at that time. We do have a career exploration series that takes place during that time that we will eventually talk to you about, most likely in August. But we do a lot of different things in that first 25 minutes. Sometimes we expand it to 45 minutes or even an hour, but QRT is a time when we get a lot of things done so that once we get into the 4 periods, those are not interrupted. And forgive me, everybody, I have to go back.
So Dr. Lentz, I just want mention something like you put it in the presentation. You said students have the same teacher for the grades 9 to 12. Can you more explanation for that?
That's exactly what it says. You have the same homeroom teacher just for QRT for those 4 years. And that way you've got a real relationship. That teacher really knows that person inside and out. And kind of almost serves in a mentor role. So just for QRT, you have the same teacher 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade to build that relationship, not for all the classes.
Okay, good.
Okay,
thanks.
of course. So one of the things that we're very proud of is that at Fox Chapel, and especially for a school our size, we are very proud of all of the different opportunities that there are for our students. Not all of these are going to be available for freshmen. Most of these actually are not. But whether it's our VOTEC program that students can go into typically in the junior year, we do have overseas and study abroad. That it's possible to do an early graduation as well as an early college admission. We have the ability to do a concurrent college enrollment. So once you get towards potentially the senior year, we have some students that actually leave partway through the day and go take a college class and take care of those things. We have professional and work experience. It's all coordinated through the school. As we mentioned, we have a few classes that are offered before and after school. We didn't offer any of those this year because of the COVID restrictions, and so we're in a wait and see for next year. But most importantly, we're very flexible with the scheduling options that we have. Those scheduling options can include an online class, typically not for freshmen, just something to be thinking about for the 4-year plan. An online class can be taken, some students take it as a first period class and actually come in, their actual school day starts at the start of 2nd period. Some people will actually leave at approximately 1 o'clock and then they'll have an extra class that they'll take online to complete their 4 classes. Again, we're talking typically when they're upperclassmen. These are asynchronous online classes. They are supported by a Fox Chapel teacher, but they are cyber classes. They are blended in the sense that the students are doing work online and then asynchronously have teacher support. It's not the same as what most of the district is doing right now with that virtual option. That's kind of unique to COVID, so to speak. We also have what's called a drop-in center, and that's staffed by our FCAO coordinator, Mrs. Riley, for those students who just need a little bit of help. So as you're thinking about those 4 years, we have a lot of flexible options, including some online classes in case your children are interested in that. One of the things that you may not know coming from potentially the private parochial and charter schools is that at the high school, they do have to take the 3 state mandated Keystone exams. Those are what we call end of course exams. And so as you see here in the bullets, there's an Algebra 1, a biology, and a literature, which is at the end of English 10. So at the end of their Algebra 1 course, they actually take the Algebra 1 Keystone. Now, they've already completed that Algebra 1. They typically would take it at the end of Algebra 2 if they're coming in from outside of the district. At the end of biology, which about 2/3 of our students take in the freshman year, the rest take in their sophomore year. At the end of biology, they'll take that Keystone exam. And at the end of English 10, meaning 10th grade English, they'll take that literature exam. It is a graduation requirement, but I want to stress we've never not had a student graduate because of those Keystone exams. We have some safety nets in place. We have some processes in place to make sure that the students eventually get through. So just know that that will be something that you will hear about if your children come to school next year, those Keystone exams at the end of those 3 courses. Another thing that a school of our size can offer is a ton of different opportunities that are extracurricular, whether that be sports, clubs. We have, last time I checked last year, and unfortunately this year is a whole different situation, but last year we had, I believe, over 80 different clubs and activities that the students could create, they could participate in. And if they're interested, they can create their own club. We have some clubs I've never even heard of before. There's apps, they make apps, and then there's like a Star Wars club. So all sorts of different stuff. They can get involved in student government. There's a ton of different fine arts, and so this is just a list of examples. But whether that be theater, the fall play, spring musical, there's tons of different things that they can get involved in. And I just want you to know that yes, that transcript is super important, but colleges are also looking at what are the things that the students are doing outside of the classroom as well. And those are almost being weighed by some colleges almost evenly with the transcript. They want to know that the students that are coming onto their campus are going to bring a little bit more to the table and are going to try to get involved and help out as well. So we're very proud of all the different opportunities. And we're probably as flexible as can be in helping create new ones if students are interested in those as well. There's a list of all of our different sports. Those are our varsity sports, and that does not, I don't believe, I do see our club sports on there as well. So we have the club sports that are listed down at the bottom. This is just a sample, and by no means is it exhaustive. But this is an example of the various academic clubs that we host that our students can get involved in. We have various social clubs, recreational clubs that our students can get involved in. And again, this is just a sample of some of the things. And again, a school our size, we have a ton of different opportunities as well. And then these are some of the more curricular but still related activities, such as yearbook, tapestry, our magazine club. We have a Model United Nations, forensics, our FBLA, which is business leaders, and so forth and so on down through that list. So there are a ton of different opportunities for students to get involved in, and you'll potentially hear me in August try to encourage the students to try to get as involved as possible. As I'm sure your high school years probably, it was true for you as well. This is the fun stuff. This is the stuff that makes high school worth attending. Our student government is actually modeled after the United States government in the sense that we have a House of Representatives, we have a Senate, we have an executive branch, we have representatives from each of the 6 municipalities that we serve, Blawnox, Aspinwall, Indiana, Sharpsburg, Fox Chapel, and O'Hara. And so we set it up in a very similar fashion. We invoke the same rules and processes as the government. So we try to model that as much as possible so that it's a learning opportunity. But we actually have a way that through caucuses and standing committees, any student can be involved. So it doesn't maybe become the popularity contest that some people might think that it is. So we really encourage all of our students to try to get involved as well in student government. So as you can see there, over 60% of our students are involved in sports. There's over 80 different clubs for all the different interests. Everyone has an ability in some way, shape, or form to get involved in student government. And Mrs. Erin Bakovic, her name is down at the bottom there. Once we get towards August and we get towards school, we'll talk more about that. But she is our activities director, and she can be a resource as far as trying to help students get involved in some of those things. So I have flown through that in record time, and I hope that wasn't too quick. But I wanted to make sure that I had somewhere around maybe 6 or 7 minutes in case you had any other questions for me, and allow me to stop presenting so that we can kind of go back to normal mode here. Is there any questions about our high school that I can answer at this time? I've got about 5 minutes, and then I have to move on and get ready for our 6:30 session. So anything at all that I can answer for anyone on the call tonight? No?
I have a quick question, yes. I can see in the course description guide that there is a semester block, a year block. You already talked a little bit about it, but I just want to make sure I'm understanding. And also, I can see there is like 2 or like 3 or 5 days or 3
Right.
or things like that. So I don't understand how that works exactly.
Okay, so that is the point. That is the whole purpose of our 6:30 session, and we will talk more about that at 6:30. But allow me to just kind of highlight that just real quick. Certain courses, like our science courses, for example, it was a little tough squeezing all of the curriculum, the labs, the activities, all of those types of things. It's a little tough squeezing that into one semester. So we actually have some of our science courses, for example, are 5 days one semester, and then they roll over and they're 2 days the next semester. Okay. Because we're on a block schedule, things such as PE and health, those are half credit courses. And so one of those are 2 days a week, and the other one is 3 days a week. And so a student may see on their schedule that they have a half credit course like on a Monday and a Wednesday, and another one on Tuesday, Thursday, or even Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's kind of trying to get creative with the scheduling and not let time kind of determine too much of what we cover in the curriculum. So we have some flexibility in when I said to you that there's 4 periods in the fall and 4 periods in the spring. That's true, but in any one of those periods, they may have one class that's maybe 2 days a week or 3 days a week, and another class opposite that the other 2 days or 3 days a week. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and so again, that's what the presentation, Mr. O'Connor, who's one of our guidance counselors, he's going to be the main presenter at 6:30. I'm just giving a quick introduction. We'll talk about all of that and what that means and what those examples are starting at 6:30.
Perfect, thank you.
You're very welcome. I have, forgive me here just real quick, I have like 2 minutes. Is there anything else I can answer for anyone in the next 2 minutes? Again, if it's anything related to the schedule or selecting courses, that's what our 6:30 session is. And from 7:15 on, all of our sessions with the teachers of each of our departments so that you can ask more detailed questions. That's what the rest of the night's about. Anything kind of airplane view about the high school in general before we leave?
Just a quick question that's from my son. How he will be involved with those activities for clubs? Like, is that something they will be choose him like depending on his background, or that's something like they will just looking for numbers to involve him with these clubs, or how is that? Like just simply if
Yeah, so there's definitely things such as sports. They start at certain times that's all determined by the PIAA and the WPIAL, and so that goes through our athletic department. The clubs and the organizations that we have, approximately the third week of school, we have what we call Club Week, and during lunch, all of the different clubs. All of the different clubs are set up in our commons and throughout the cafeteria. They're talking about the clubs, kind of recruiting all of the students to attend those clubs. They have the sign-ups. They'll get their email addresses and so forth so that we can reach out to they can reach out to those students and start moving forward with their club. We do that again in the second semester as well. And then our activities coordinator is actually in the cafeteria every day during lunch, as well as some of our student government workers. They're actually assigned in there. So anytime any of the students have any interest in any clubs, all they have to do is walk right there during their lunchtime and just say, hey, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, and we'll get them set up with the various clubs and organizations that we have available.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, I know a couple people just came in here at the last minute, and I'm so sorry that we're kind of wrapping things up. Let me once again go back, and whether you went to our website, our 8th grade orientation website, or perhaps you received the mailing. If you look through our 6:30 till probably 7:05, 7:10 presentation, it's all about how to schedule for the freshman year, how to select those courses, but also starting to think about the 4-year plan. That's what our next session will be. You'll have to put up with me for the first maybe 5 minutes, and then Mr. O'Connor takes it from there. And then, as I've said a couple of times, at 7:15, you'll be able to go in for 10 minutes at a time, and our teachers will be giving presentations about the courses in each of the different departments that we have academically. Okay? So that's my that's my notice that we're done. So thank you so much. And if you ever need anything, you can go to the website and shoot me an email or give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have for next year. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for joining me. Have a nice night. Thank you.
Sure.